Hey guys, welcome to week 25. I am 25 weeks and 5 days pregnant today, and the baby is the size of a head of cauliflower and a zucchini. Yeah, two completely different sized vegetables, but apparently that's what the baby's the size of this week. It's funny how all my different apps tell me different things, but it's just weird to compare those. And the baby has fingerprints this week and is starting to open his eyes, which is really cute to think about. I will go ahead and start off with the doctor's appointment I had last week. Technically, I was 24 weeks when I had this appointment. I always upload my videos on Thursdays, so on Friday, last Friday, I ended up going to the doctor because I had basically just kind of freaked myself out on Friday while I was at work because, as I mentioned before in my 24-week update, that I hadn't felt him move a lot, or his movements were decreased, and I really hadn't felt him too much on Friday. So I basically just called my doctor's office and I left a message for the nurse to call me back. Basically, I just wanted to ask if that was normal and if I should be counting movements or whatever. I didn't want an appointment and I did not expect to go in. Oh, sorry about my hair. I got out of the shower, so it's kind of wet and weird right now. Anyway. So the nurse calls me back half an hour after I leave the message, and she's basically well, we still would like you to come in just to make sure everything's okay. And she was just strongly encouraging me to come in for an appointment, which I think they have to tell you anyway. I think it would be not a violation, but risk for them if they didn't advise me to come in. But so I went in for an appointment that day. And I basically just met with one of the nurse practitioners at my OB office, and she was really sweet and she was really nice, and she was just basically talking to me. Everything was fine, and it turned out to be. We did the Doppler and heard the heartbeat right away, so we knew he was okay in there, and she was just basically talking to me about fetal movement and said I'm at that weird stage where you don't start to count movements, but he still should be making frequent movements that go with not a cycle. I cannot talk today, but a schedule. He should be having regular movements. So she's I was kind of in that weird point. So it was just best to come in for an appointment just to make sure everything was okay. And I also talked about the pains that I was having because I wasn't sure if I was having those Braxton Hicks contractions or not. And she confirmed that yes, they were Braxton Hicks contractions, and basically just told me that if to call, or I should be concerned if I'm getting 4 within an hour, and then of course if it's accompanied by other symptoms pain or bleeding or your water breaks. Obviously that's a real contraction, but basically just told me that they're normal, and then not to worry as long as they don't have a pattern to them and I'm not having them frequently, which I haven't. I generally have maybe 1 or 2 a day if I have them. Some days I go and I don't have them and have 1, and then other days I'll have 1 or 2. And I had one really uncomfortable one the other day, which still makes me nervous that I'm getting them, but I guess it's normal, so I'm not going to freak out about it. And also while I was there, she recommended, she's well, let's just give you a sonogram because you haven't had one in 5 weeks, and let's just make sure everything's okay because, just to make sure everything's okay, because if you have decreased fluid or something, then that could cause less movement. So I was oh, why would I decline a sonogram? Basically just saying, oh no, I don't want to make sure my baby's okay. So I think they kind of it's all in the same office, so I feel they're trying to upsell you by making you go in for a sonogram, but whatever, I did anyway just because I wanted to make sure everything was okay. So we had a sonogram, and it was seriously 3 minutes long. The sonogram tech was a real biatch, and I did not really like her all that much. And it was late in the afternoon. It was 4:45 on a Friday, so I'm sure they all wanted to get out of there. But she was not very nice, and I haven't had her before. But it was really quick. I guess they did a couple things just to check off the. It was a movement sonogram, so he had to do certain things to pass the sonogram, and he did, which was good. And they just checked my fluid, and they checked his heart, I think, and then they checked the cord, the blood flow in the cord to make sure he was getting enough blood flow and everything. So everything turned out to be completely fine, and I feel like I just over-exaggerated, but at the same time, like, they also say that they go off mother's intuition, so better to be safe than sorry, so I am kind of glad I went in to ease my mind a little bit, but I still worry constantly. And then ever since then, like, even Friday night, he's been moving like crazy, usually. Like, today he's been a little slow, but I've also haven't been feeling that great, which I'll talk about in a second. So, yeah. He's fine, and I just worried about movement, and I don't know, I was freaked out for nothing. What else is going on this week? It got really hot again. And as you guys remember, I can't remember what week it was. I want to say it was like maybe 5 weeks ago. It got really, really hot here, and that's like a week I was feeling really sick. Well, it got really, really hot 2 days in a row again. Where it was like in the 90s and it was hot and miserable, and of course when it gets that hot, for some reason my body like does not want to react and basically just wants to go hibernate when it's that hot, and I don't have air conditioning in my house, so it was miserable. I was miserable again, basically the same symptoms I had that week before. I just felt dizzy and headachy and nauseous and exhausted, and basically, like, I just can't function, and I just have to, like, lay on the couch. Today I had a really, really bad headache when I woke up, and I felt really dizzy, and every time I stood up, like, my head would pound, and I made sure that I've been drinking tons of water. I also made sure I drank lots of water yesterday, but it doesn't seem to help, like, as much water as I drink. My body just hates the heat, and luckily today it's been cooled off a little bit, but, like, the past 2 previous days, like Tuesday and Wednesday, was really hot and miserable. But now that it's cooled off a little bit, I think I'm feeling better, which is good. And hopefully it won't get that hot again. Like, what the heck, it's September, it's supposed to be fall now, and I'm really ready for like 60, 50 degree weather where it's like comfortable and I can have the windows open. So yeah, I'm looking forward to definitely cool weather. What else, I guess? Been having a little bit more of like the lightning crotch pains, just a little bit, a couple times here and there. Also, I noticed too, like at the way top and like sides of where my belly sticks out, I have to be careful when I get up from a laying position to a standing position, not to use so much of my abdominal muscles and to kind of like help myself up with my arms, because if I like, you know, try to like move up with those muscles, like it's really painful, which is weird. So I basically have to make sure like I prop myself up with my arms first, or I get up a different way. But if I try to like, you know, like get up from my bed, I really have to make sure that I don't use those muscles, or else it really hurts on the side. So that's kind of like a new thing that's happened within the past week. I haven't talked about this in a while, but my stretch marks, I only still have one, and it's the one that I noticed like a long time ago, I think. Oh, I can't remember what week it was that I noticed it. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. But I just have one small, subtle little stretch mark on my side, and I haven't had any more since then, so I'm kind of glad about that. Cravings. This is like the first week I feel like I've had real cravings. I know last week I mentioned that I wanted cereal and chocolate. Well, those cravings have both intensified this week, and all I want to eat is cereal and chocolate. Seriously. Like, I would definitely consider these to be real pregnancy cravings. Like, my first ones, I feel like. In the beginning, I definitely wanted, like, veggies and salty food. Like, I wanted, like, Asian stir-fry, and I wanted, like, Asian noodles and just salty, like, tater tots with salt and ketchup, and I wanted eggs and just all that kind of, like, saltier tasting foods. No. Now all I want, cereal and chocolate, which is funny and bad at the same time, because I wish I was craving the veggies before, because when I was eating so many salads and I felt so healthy. But I do limit myself to how much, you know, I'll eat. The most I've had in a day is 2 bowls of cereal, and I eat, I don't know, like decent cereal. Like, I'm not going out and getting like Lucky Charms and all that kind of stuff. I've been eating Cheerios. I got the Special K with the strawberries and the little pieces of chocolate. I got that. And I've been eating, what's the other one I got? I did get Frosted Flakes, and I've had those once, and that was good. But I try to be good with the cereal and not to get like stuff that's really, really sweet and sugary. I try to get something that has grains in it. So I've been definitely loving the multi-grain Cheerios and the Special K, which is good. But also with my chocolate craving, like I could totally go out and buy like Cocoa Puffs and like, do they still make Cocoa Krispies? I don't even know, but that's what I really want. Like I just want chocolate, and I want chocolate milkshakes and like chocolate everything. I could just like bathe in chocolate and love it. Chocolate. So yes, cereal and chocolate, huge cravings. I seriously cannot get enough, but I definitely am limiting myself. I'm not gorging and binging, or else I would feel really guilty and I would probably have a stomach ache. So I still try to make sure that I limit those and only indulge a little bit each day on both of those. So that's really it for this week. Yeah, I guess I'll go ahead now and show you my belly. Okay guys, here is week 25 belly. Here is it from the side, with a shirt on here, and then from the front. I don't really feel like I grew that much this week. I don't know, let me know what you guys think. But there's the belly. Yay! And it's definitely funny because I will feel him, like when I'm laying down, I can notice that I'm like he's on one side or the other, and he definitely does favor the left side rather than the right side because I feel him more on that side, which is funny. But that is it. And that is it for week 25, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!